And welcome back to another brand new episode of Too Much Pod Tar. Today's August 25th, and we got another DFS pod for you today. Um, I'm by myself again today, but just going to run through some picks for tonight's main slate of 10 games, starting at 7:10 p.m. Eastern Time. So, yeah, just going to run through, as always, some pitchers, some hitters, some stacks that I like, my home run call at the end. So, let's get into it. Yeah, with the pitchers, as far as pitchers go, Shane Bieber is the top 10,800, and he's definitely a lock. He's pretty much got the Cy Young on lock, the American League Cy Young on lock. I mean, he's been pitching phenomenal. He's had 65 strikeouts, just 6 walks in 40 and two-thirds innings. He's surrendered just 5 earned runs over 6 starts. Um, so that's a .76 WHIP, 175 batting average against, 111 ERA, averaging 35.4 points per game on DraftKings. So yeah, he's a lock. Obviously, his ownership is going to be up a lot. He's going to be the most um, owned guy on DraftKings, I would imagine. And last 2 starts he struck out 11, and 2 starts before that it was eight in each game. And the last 2 starts he's faced not that great of an offenses, Tigers and the Pirates. And now today he faces the Twins, who is obviously a much tougher lineup than those two. But he's also faced the Twins earlier this year. In his second start, he went 8 shutout innings, only gave up 3 hits, struck out 13, no walks. So, he faced this lineup before and he knows them. So he's probably going to shut them down. Maybe not as dominant as he was the first time around. They're going to probably maybe make some more adjustments this time, but I think he can definitely shut them out again, or give up no more than 2 runs. Still put up really big points. So, and then you got Garrett Cole against the Braves, 10,600. Even though he hasn't actually been a full on Garrett Cole yet, he's still been very, very good. He's given up a home run in each of his starts, however. 2 home runs last time out against the Rays, but he did strike out 10, just walked 1. So he's got 44 strikeouts, 6 walks, and 36 innings over 6 starts, 11 earned runs. But he's given up 7 home runs. He's going to be facing a tough matchup, tough Braves lineup today, but the Braves are also a team that has struck out a pretty good amount, so he could definitely rack those strikeouts up. And he's also, he's averaging 24.3 points on DraftKings, and he still got 26.8 points last time out, even though he took the no decision. And the Yankees lost to the Rays. So he's probably going to come out today and be extremely dominant. The Yankees are returning back after not playing over the weekend because of the Mets series being postponed. So I think he's going to come out and, hitting on all cylinders. So I think he's probably close to as lock as possible. Maybe not as much as Bieber, because it's the role that Bieber has been on. It's hard not to go with him, and it's hard to pay up for both of these guys unless you go with a lot of value hitters, because both of them are so expensive at almost 11,000. So, some other guys you may end up going with, maybe pairing one of them with, Luis Castillo is an option at 9,600. He's facing a Brewers lineup, which we talked about a lot. They're not great. They're not a good lineup at all, really. They haven't been good. They have, among the worst ranks in, a lot of the categories like WOBA. They're the third worst, I believe. But, Castillo, he only pitched 3 1/3 last time out, actually. But gave up 3 earned runs against the Royals, but that was a rough start for him. He has been okay. He's still, he hasn't really had that great of a season so far. 16.3 points averaging, and I think he's going to be able to find something today though. Maybe have some decent, a pretty good start. That's a good option, I think, especially against a lineup like that. But that's been striking out a pretty good amount as well. But I don't know. Now actually looking more into it, I don't know if maybe I would stay away. But I think he might do some decent stuff today. I think it'll be probably his best start of the year. Um, so, but another guy I like a little bit lower is Chris Paddock, who's a very good value option at 7,800. Facing the Mariners. We all know they're a pretty porous offense. Pitched 6 innings the last time out, 4 hits, just 1 run, 5 Ks, 2 walks against the Rangers, who also have a pretty bad lineup. So I think he'll have another good start today against another bad lineup. Before that he gave up 6 runs against the Dodgers, 3 against the Diamondbacks, 3 against the Dodgers before the start before that. So he hasn't, he didn't have the greatest start in the world, like the first few starts, but now facing some offenses that aren't that great, it's a good matchup for him, and I think he could definitely do some things there. So that's a good value option. Um, Rich Hill against the Indians. Rich Hill's been pretty decent, pretty good. Only less than 2 2/3 the last time out. 4 earned runs against Milwaukee, which that's kind of not a good sign because obviously I said Milwaukee doesn't have a good offense, but it was only his second start of the year, coming back from being injured. So, um, he's still trying to make it back. His first start, he went 5 innings, didn't give up any runs against St. Louis. And Cleveland offense also is another offense that isn't that great. They strike out at a good amount. And they have some hitters in there, but they're not that great of an offense overall. So I like those guys' potential. Especially, Rich Hill's only 7,100, so he's definitely a pretty solid value option. So I could definitely see rolling with him. Pairing him with Bieber. So those are pitchers. Some hitters. I like Aaron Judge coming back from the IL. Yankees are playing the Braves, and Ian Anderson's being thrown out there. He's a rookie pitcher. So yeah. Judge is being activated today off the IL, and I think he's going to come out swinging a hot bat. So I think Judge, coming back, he's going to be on fire. He's going to start off on a good hot start, get rolling again. He was on fire before he got injured, so I think he's going to continue that. He's one of the more expensive hitters, obviously 5,800, but he's going to come in and probably mash against the righty, who is a rookie, as I said, and yeah, that's one guy I like as far as hitters go. You know, another guy I probably like is Tatis, 5,600. Facing Marco Gonzalez and the Mariners. He's a lefty, so yeah, Tatis can definitely mash. didn't really look too much into the matchups as far as what the guys have done, so not really any PvP plays, but I mean BVP plays, but just kind of going based off of the pitcher that they're facing. So Corey Seager is an option against Johnny Cueto, 5,100. Jose Abreu's on fire. He's had he's had a lot of home runs. 8 home runs in the last 10 games. He had 5 straight at bats. He had a home or four four straight at bats. He had home runs in 3 in 1 game, and then the next game he came out and hit another one in his first at bat. So yeah, 8 home runs and a 447 average in his last 10 games. Um, so he's been on fire, and he's facing Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh is not a great team, and facing a pitcher that they're throwing out there is Stephen Brault, a left-hander. So Breyer could definitely match the opposite handed pitcher today. Stay hot. He's a first base. Another first baseman would be, or not a first baseman, but he's a DH. Nelson Cruz, obviously outfield there's no DH on DFS, but Nelson Cruz has hit 7 home runs in 11 games. So he's another guy on fire, complete fire of late. So I definitely roll with him. It's a potential guy to hit off Bieber. I said obviously facing Bieber, but I like the matchup for Cruz. He could be one guy that hits Bieber. So it's not going to be a day I think that I'll stack the Twins, which usually, well, a lot of times they are a good stack, but I don't think that they will be against Bieber. But Cruz could be a guy that does mash, especially the way he's been rolling. He could pretty much hit off of anybody. The last 10 games, he's had, as I said, 7 home runs, 9 RBIs, 7 walks, 13.9 points per game in those last 10. This last game, he had 14 points. So, yeah, I think he's going to keep rolling and keep going at it. And so that's another guy that I like. And against righties, this year so far, 7 of his 11 home runs are against right-handers. 18 RBIs, 1,009 OPS, 308 average, and 89 plate appearances. And last year against righties, he had 25 of his 41 homers against them, 79 RBIs, 307 average, 381 plate appearances, 971 OPS. So, and see if I can pull up the stat. I want to see what he's done against Bieber. He's only 1 for 7 against Bieber. He obviously small sample, so he's only faced him a couple of games. So I think he can maybe get another home run, potentially one guy that could mash there. Even though I said no Twins stack, but Miguel Sano is another guy that he's been starting to get hot. So I can see him as a potential option as well. And he had a home run in the last game as well. So he's been hitting well, 382 average over his last 10 games. And he had two home runs at 3 games over the last 3. So he can be another guy that could potentially hit against Bieber. He's also 6 for 16 in his career against Bieber with 1 home run 3 walks and 2 RBIs. So he could definitely do some damage. Um, I think another guy actually that maybe could do damage. Eddie Rosario, 6 for 17 with 3 home runs against Bieber. So maybe I lied. I don't know. You could potentially go with a mini stack, maybe not a full stack. Go with like Sano, maybe Cruz, Rosario um, against Bieber. It could definitely end up paying off. Maybe Bieber have a kind of a rough outing. It's really his first one of the year. So it's always an up and always there's always a chance for that to happen for him to blow up against a really good offense. He shut them down his last time out, but that was like a few starts ago already, and I don't know. You never know. So you could do with that in maybe a tournament. You can go with you know one. You can go with one lineup with starting Bieber and another with the twin stack, kind of to balance the two out. So if one goes wrong, the other one will work out. So I can kind of see that as a potential option that you do. If you're doing one lineup, don't do it. But I would do Bieber. I would probably start Bieber if it's only one lineup. But obviously a lot of people that play DFS don't just do one lineup a day, but they do a bunch of lineups. But you never know if you're doing just one. If you feel like just doing one today or whatever, like sometimes I just feel like doing one. Sometimes, but if you're just doing the one, I would probably go with Bieber rather than the offense. He's already proven that he can shut them down. So I think I would definitely go with Bieber with that, and more than one lineup, go with another one that goes against that. Maybe just to see what happens. Potentially could have the mini stack of the Twins work out. So, um, other than that though, I like, it's another obviously Dodgers are pretty good. There's another stack against the Cueto and the Giants. It's pretty easy. We got Bellinger. I mentioned. I mentioned Seager. So they're always an option. So that's obviously an option. Let's just go with. All right, let's see here. Just looking at some of the guys. Oh, I like Eloy Jimenez against Pittsburgh. I mentioned Abreu. Maybe like another stack, I guess, would be the White Sox because the Braves have been on fire. Eloy is he's been pretty solid lately. He had 2 multi-hit games in the Cubs series, and then one for 4 on Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. On Sunday, so he's been pretty. He's been doing pretty well of late. Uh, so I could definitely see him mashing today against the lefty in Brault. Um, Arenado I like as well against Alex Young, the D-backs. Um, Manny Machado. I said I think against Marco Gonzalez. That's another stack. The Padres are a pretty good stack. I would go with. Um, we have obviously the Padres have been on fire. They've been red hot and hitting home runs, grand slams left and right. You got Jake Cronenworth as an option that's lower, like pretty good value option still. He's currently, let me see here, he's still just 3,500, so he's gone up a little bit after he's proven that he can hit. Uh, there were times he was only 2.9K, I believe. But Hosmer 4.1K, Chado's 4.8, Will Myers is 3.4, um, Grisham 3.7. So those are some guys that you can go with for the Padres lineup. And I would probably obviously start with Tatis. So I would go with, if I was going to do a full stack, the five guys I would do is Tatis, Machado, Hosmer, and Cronenworth. Or four. That's four. The fifth one would probably be Myers. Uh, he's been hitting well of late. 294 average over his last 10, 2 home runs. So he's been a guy that can mash the ball a little bit. So he's at 7 home runs on the year. So those are the five guys, the main guys I would roll with for a Padres stack. And even probably a Yankee stack as well. I'd probably go with, I said Judge, and I get Luke Voigt. He's been on fire before everything happened with the Mets series. Sanchez is Gary Sanchez. He struggles. He has struggles a little bit. Yeah, I mean, he has struggled this year, but I like that matchup. He's a guy that can definitely end up mashing a lefty today. Um, so you could always roll with him. He's Luke Voigt's actually cheaper than him at 4.4K. So, but I like Talkman 3.6K only. Clint Frazier's 4.1. Mike Ford's 3.3 if he is in the lineup. So those are some guys I'd probably go with. Probably if I went for the full stack, I'd go with Judge, Voigt, and then Gio Urshela is probably another one I'd probably roll with, 4.2K. And then probably Mike Ford if he is in the lineup, Mike Talkman. So those are probably the main ones. Maybe even Aaron Hicks is an option as well, 4,000. He's been struggling this year, but he still has a pretty solid hard hit rate at, I believe it was like 36.6%, which was like in the top 9% of the league, I believe. So still hitting the ball hard. His average doesn't show what he's been doing, because he's been walking a lot, 17 walks, which is 17 walks in 67 at bats. But I mean, 17 walks in however many plate appearances. I don't have that in front of me right now, but it's been a 20, I believe it was 20.2% walk rate. He struck out 14 times, so he's at the top of the lineup if he's the leadoff hitter tonight, which he probably will be with LeMahieu still out. But he, as a leadoff hitter, that's the guy you kind of need up the top, guy that walks, gets on base. So he's a guy that can set the table, and as a leadoff hitter, he'll probably have a chance to score runs as well. So you get that stat. So he's got a 369 on base percentage this year. So his average is 209, but he's still has been getting on base quite a bit. So I could definitely see him as an option as well for that stack. But that's basically all I have for you today. I didn't really want to go too long here. Just kind of roll through some guys I like, some guys there. Not really go much into detail about their stats, and otherwise maybe I just went into a little bit detail, but just kind of wanted to roll through some of my picks. I didn't really have time to do a whole show, but I'll just finish off here with my home run call. Just think here. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna roll with Judge coming back from the IL against the rookie pitcher. Um, it's in Atlanta, which is obviously not as much of a hitter's park as Yankee Stadium, but I don't think that matters for Judge. He's gonna come back and hit the ball, mash the ball everywhere. He's gonna hit a home run, and I don't know. I'm going to say his second at bat he hits it. I'm going to say the exact at bat. So if there's something if you want to bet on, if you want to actually do a prop bet on that, go ahead and say Judge hits, and go ahead and put money down on Judge hitting a home run, because I think it's almost certain that he does, and he will get to 10 home runs on the season. So that's my home run call. See if it happens, because I've actually been doing very well as far as home run calls of late, and of my picks of late. Yesterday my call was Nelson Cruz, and he hit one seventh one in 10, or seventh one in 11 games, or 10 games, something like that. I think it was 11. But yeah, I like Judge's chances of hitting one out today against a right-handed pitcher. And on the road so far this year, Judge has had 3 home runs. He's only had a 286 or 250 batting average, 10 hits and 40 at bats, but 3 of the hits were home runs. So I could definitely see him doing that today. That's what my call today. So put Judge in your lineups, pay up for him. I have no doubt in my mind he's going to come out and mash, coming off the IL. He was ready to go. He was so ready to go already. He didn't even want to go on the IL. He didn't really have to. The Yankees were just being cautious with it, just to make sure. So they put him on the IL for a week or so. So it was like since last Thursday, or I believe. But he's been ready to go, so he's ready to go out there and mash. He's gonna go and do it today. I guarantee it. I almost 100% guarantee that. So that's an easy cash right there. That's some easy cash if you want to go bet on that too, as I said. So yeah, that's today's short pod. Just a quick 20-minute episode, just to roll through some of the picks that I liked. But yeah, as always, we'll be back again tomorrow for another DFS pod for Wednesday. And as I said the other day, probably gonna do a trade deadline show, at some point before Monday, because that's when the trade deadline is, 4 o'clock Eastern time on Monday. So we'll probably do probably record it like Sunday, get it out Monday morning, right before the deadline. Just going over some of the stuff that already happened, a couple of the trades that already went down before, and just talk about some of the things we could see happening, some of the guys that could be moved right before the deadline, which I think it's going to go down to the wire. It's going to be like a lot of trades happening last second, last minute. Even more so than last year, because last year there was a lot of stagnancy, not a lot of shit going down, and not till the last second. It was like the last 30 minutes or so there was a lot of stuff happening, and when we went live for that. So I think might be the same this year. A lot of trades are going down last minute. Maybe not as many. I don't know if there's going to be as many big trades, but you never know. There could be. I don't know if Bauer's going to be moved. I don't know what. Obviously, some of the pitchers that probably will be moved are like Michael Givens, the Orioles reliever. Has been really solid for them. Some Cueto. Some of the starters are Cueto and Alex Cobb, another Orioles pitcher. So it's going to be a lot of teams like that are not. They're kind of in it still, because it's a short season and almost everybody's in it. But at the same time, the rebuilding teams know who they are. The teams that are going to be really in it, the winning teams, know who they are as well. So I think it's going to be pretty easy to see who's going to end up selling because it's going to, it's going to be all the teams that are rebuilding. They know they're not going to do anything because once they get to the playoffs, like they have teams way better than them. I know, like the Mariners, like the Orioles, even the Marlins, who've actually said they might end, or not, I don't know if they said exactly, like specifically, but it's kind of been known that the Marlins may end up trading up for pieces, which makes no sense at all. I know the Marlins are in the hunt a little bit, but the Marlins, they're not going to do anything once they get to the playoffs. Even if they add one extra piece or two, that's not going to happen. The Marlins would probably face, uh, I don't know, somebody like the Braves or whatever, Cardinals, Braves. Oh, well, maybe not the Cardinals, but somebody like that, like Braves or Nationals or whatever. I do not think they would have a chance against a team like the Braves, who, I mean, even the Braves have terrible pitching, but Marlins don't really have much pitching either, and they would get destroyed. I mean, I know anything can happen in the playoffs, but I just don't see that happening. So I think, teams like the Tigers, Mariners, Marlins, or whatever, all those teams that are like that in the bottom, that are suspected to be in the bottom of their divisions, should not even have a thought to trade up to buy. They should either be, staying stagnant at the least, or selling off some of their pieces that have been performing well. So yeah. Well, anyway, we'll see next. At the end of this week, we'll talk about that on that show when we do that. But other than that, DFS will continue each day, and one of these days we will do like a live show the day of, like an hour or so before lock for the slate. We'll still do the regular pod on here, but then go live like right when as we see the lineups coming out and stuff, and then talk about some more options and stuff like as we see the lineups come in. So that'll happen one of these days. Like on Twitter, to be on me and see if who's going to be able to come on. But it'll be exciting if we could do that, get that rolling, and get some more video out there too. Hopefully, I'm trying to be thinking about doing some videos for the pod as well. Do like the video pod, have it be a video, put it on the regular pod, like on Anchor, and then put the pod up on YouTube or whatever. So definitely want to try to do more things here, make this grow a little bit. And if any new listeners out there, thanks for listening, and always everybody else, thanks for listening. But thank you for giving us a shot, and welcome to the show if you're new. And if you want to go and give us a review, just give us a star review, or we'll write something as well on whatever platform you use. Apple Pods, Spotify, Castbox, or whatever that's whatever the other ones are called, Castbox or something, I think. But yeah, there's a bunch of different ones that people use. So yeah, whatever you're listening on, it would be appreciated if you gave a review. More reviews the better, because then people see it, and if you give it a good review, more people will start listening, and it'll help us out a lot. So yeah, check out the DFS articles on primetimesportstalk.com. Every day we have a new one, different writer doing it each day. So it's definitely a lot of good different insight we get from our guys here. But yeah, and then I think next time out, I'm gonna start doing some voicemails as well, or DMs. If you want to DM any questions you have, or probably going to start answering some questions on here. So just DM me at Alex Keeler on Twitter, or DM the pod Twitter at pod_tar, or you can also DM Joey at the Riot 326, Johnny at JBall0202. So those are the main guys that are on this pod of late. So you can always DM any of us questions, or the podcast Twitter. But also you can leave any voicemails, and I'll start listening to them. At the number is obviously, just don't prank call me, please. I'll have to block your number if you try to prank call me. But you can call my cell phone at 570-470-5412 if you want to leave any voicemail. Go ahead and do that, and I'll answer some of those questions, or whatever, any questions or comments on a pod coming up, and maybe just do like a whole episode of answering those. So that'll be exciting to do. So yeah, have at it. You can leave any questions to my number, or in the DMs. So yeah, thank you as always for listening to this pod. Hopefully you win some cash. Good luck tonight with that slate. 10 games, 7:05 start, or 7:10. So yeah, enjoy it, and we'll be back again tomorrow for another one, as I said. And just a reminder, you can never have too much pod tour or DFS. Peace out. Always start Mike Trout. Good luck. Adios, amigos. Goodbye.